Wendy Lee, who will tell us more about impromptu speech. Let us invite Wendy Lee for introduce. So impromptu speaking is basically speaking without a prompt, without knowing what you are going to talk about. And so for today, I have a bag of questions randomly chosen by me. But if you decide to come up, will have to just pick a random question and have between 1 and 2 minutes to speak. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to call on a random person, and then that random person will call on someone else in the audience, and then they will just keep going like that. Sounds great. Anyone would like to be the first to go?
You have 30 minutes for the whole session.
30 minutes, okay. Yeah.
Angela.
Okay, this lady first and then
Angela.
Angela.
Why I love Fernando?
They can all guess. What do people think about your birthplace that isn't true? People think that it rains all the time in London.
That's true.
But they haven't been to Singapore, most of them. And those who have been to Singapore unjustly think that England has more rain. I think both have rain, but in both cases, if you wait, the rain will go away. The difference is that in Singapore it's so hot that you're very glad when it rains, it cools you down. In England you're not so pleased and you usually forget to carry an umbrella. In Singapore, I always remember to carry an umbrella. The other good thing about Singapore is that you can use your umbrella for a sunshade as well as when it's raining. So just put it up and nobody will think you're silly. Whereas in London, if you put your umbrella up in the sun, they would think you were slightly mad. So people think it rains in England. In fact, it rains everywhere. I find as a travel writer, it rains wherever I go. I went to see the Taj Mahal, and it rained on the Taj Mahal. I'm probably the only person in the world who has pictures of the Taj Mahal in the rain. I've also got pictures of Notre Dame in the rain. I've got pictures of Singapore in the rain. I've got absolutely everywhere in the rain, but of course when I'm in London, because I'm a Londoner, I can wait for the rain to go away and get a sunny picture. And if you look at the people who are the winners of competitions, you often find they have waited all year to get the right picture, the picture at dawn, the little bird that comes out. And in London, please come and stay for an entire year, and then you will find a day when it isn't raining, I promise you. There is one, I've been there. I have the picture.
Thank you. Yeah, the man at the back, the big man.
What is your name?
Marshall.
Marshall.
Finally, you need a tall, dark, handsome man.
Single.
Me too.
This is my stage today. Okay, the question is, if you had to gain 10 pounds, what would you eat to gain the weight? If I had to gain 10 pounds, what would I eat to gain the weight? Well, I would eat some of my favorite foods, but my favorite Singapore foods. In fact, I did gain 10 pounds when I first came to Singapore. When I first came to Singapore, I fell in love with one breakfast dish, nasi lemak.
Oh, yeah.
And because I'm an American, I found the portions were too small. So every morning I would buy maybe 2 or 3 nasi lemak portions. And one day someone said to me, Marshall, why are you eating nasi lemak every day in such quantities? I said, because I like it. They said, do you know that nasi lemak is fattening? It's coconut rice? From that point on, I stopped eating nasi lemak. It was hard for me because I loved it so much. I loved the rice, the sweetness, the fish. Oh, by the way, I like the traditional nasi lemak. I don't like the chicken one. I think that the chicken one is a perfection. I like the one with the crispy fish and
Yeah, me too.
he can build this. He can build it.
Bees.
So I like that the most. So that's one of the things that I had to eat, but if I had to gain 10 pounds, it would definitely be that. So what's the second thing I would eat? Well, it's another Singaporean dish. Pepper crab. Pepper crab. I know a lot of people here like chili crab, and most people like chili crab, except when I had my first chili crab in Singapore, the chili was sweet, and I was like, well, how does chili become sweet? I'm from the Americas, and my parents are from the South, and chili is hot, not sweet. So I went for the pepper crab, because it's a little bit spicier for me. So those are the two dishes I would eat in order to gain 10 pounds.
Lawrence. Me. Mr. Lawrence. Brother of me.
You want me to read? Okay, the question is, if you could design your own swimming pool, what would it look like? If you could design your own swimming pool, what would it look like?
Okay. Thanks. You know, we are fortunate if we ever have a chance to design our own things. Standard design could be rectangle or square. Now you have a chance to design, do you want a conventional design? No, of course, I want different. I think I would want heart shape. So it's quite important sometimes it's to have this choice and to know that we can do it. And actually I would want a design that can continuously change. The swimming pool is not just one heart shape. I can just change the configuration. Next thing it could be hexagon maybe. And why not? Anything is possible if you think in advance and you plan for it. The only thing you need is space and to understand dimensions and have things that are movable. So every time your friend comes to the house, what? A new swimming pool? Yes, of course. I'm the designer.
If your pet could answer any question, what would you ask? Okay. So, at 5:15 in the morning, I get up on school days to drive my daughters to school. 5:15. At 12 minutes past 5, my two white cats scratch on the door. Because they know I feed them at 5:15 every morning. But when the September holiday comes, after 2 days, they start scratching at 6:30 a.m. because that's when I'm getting up and will feed them. So the cats are so clever. They know that they adapt. They know that I'm getting up later. So if I was able to talk to my cats, which I actually do an awful lot, don't tell anyone. If I was able to ask my cats a question, I would ask them, how do they know that it's the school holidays after they belong to the Ministry of Education?
If you could have a picnic on any mountain top in the world, where would you go? That is an interesting question. Seeing as how, firstly, I'm not a very outdoors person, so I don't actually like picnics. Second of all, I'm also not a very physically fit person, so mountain tops feel like a little out of my range.
Helicopter.
Helicopter, okay, Ken? Well, let's see, if I had, but let me think, if I could have a picnic on any mountain top in the world, where would I go? That is...
Maxwell Hills.
consider. Frankly, I've only been to really one mountaintop ever, and that would be Maxwell Hill in Taipei.
Yeah, the best mountain.
And seeing as how I will be in Taipei, that means I can eat Taipei food, which means I will probably have my picnic with char kway teow,
Yeah.
Penang char kway teow, and wanton mee,
Nasi lemak.
and yeah, okay, nasi lemak also. So, yeah. So basically, if I want to go, if I could have a picnic of any mountaintop in the world, I guess, yeah, that would be the place. Mostly because of the food.
Yeah.
Any volunteers? Solid.
Yes.
Nice
Nice to meet you.
to meet you.
What's your phone number? Otherwise.
What personal trait has gotten you in the most trouble? What personal trait has gotten you in the most trouble? I think it's procrastination. I'm supposed to speak on a plane in a couple of weeks' time, but up to today, I have finished about 50% of the draft. That itself is really hurting me in a way, and I'm supposed to speak to a very big audience. As you can see right now, I'm very nervous speaking to both of you, all of you. With that, I hope that as the new year start and begin, I want to put my procrastination away and become a new me. Well, I help and support people to develop their personal goals in 2019 also. When I'm the mentor to them, I cannot be like them also, right? With that, I hope that eventually I can be different, especially in 2019. Further on, I see 2019 as a very important year because of the industry, the transformation, and the business environment. With that, I think procrastination is also a trait that a lot of businesses today are also facing. And they cannot break through is because of also procrastination. I recently attended a workshop conducted at Syntech where they do a lot of manufacturing innovation. And throughout the questionnaire asked by most of the attendees, cultural change came up very quickly and very abruptly. And we discussed it a lot in the manufacturing circle. This is indeed also procrastination. With that, I hand over back to you.
Oh.
You didn't procrastinate this time.
Hi. Lucky draw.
Would you rather live for a week in the past or the future? Would you rather live for a week in the past or for the future? This is 2019. The past is already gone. Forget about 2018. And I believe in living the future. Why the future? The future is not going to be very certain. You agree with me? 2019 is going to be a lot of uncertainty, right from our pocket and to technology. The pocket in the sense that many of us are going to be jobless. Let only me frighten you, because a lot of retrenchment is going on. Companies are trimming, and the economies are not growing healthy. The technologies is replacing human resources, and many of us will be soon replaced. You find that it's frightening. When I was in the States just a couple of years ago, can you imagine the technology of robot? You know how many people they just engaged? It's a big, huge company. It's less than 100 people. And it's supposed to be 1,000 people that have been working in that company before. And because of the robotic technology, many of the workers today are still unemployed. Top engineers, inventor, engineers, you name it, most of them are out of job. And again, you look at America today, just because of the stupidity of one president just want to ask for the legislature just to approve the loan for the Mexicans. Can you imagine 800,000 people are jobless and up to today? So you say the future is more important than the past?
What would be a really good flavor for toothpaste? Well, that's interesting. I can only remember mint ever in my toothpaste actually. What would I like to? Probably a chocolatey toothpaste would be good. Because chocolate happens to be my favorite cake, favorite flavor. And growing up it has always been vanilla. And one of my uncles would tell me, try a different flavor, and for the longest time I refused. And then slowly the first flavor to try was chocolate, and I think I would enjoy trying that in my toothpaste. And it would be like a little piece of cake early in the morning when I brush my teeth. I look forward to that, and it won't be a tad too late to introduce toothpaste that has chocolatey flavor in this time, I guess. Thank you.
The last one.
Yeah, so we have time for one last speaker. Anybody want to speak a question?
Chris.
Yeah.
Go leave it there. Put the phone down.
This is so important.
No, it's over here.
Okay, is it more fun to be a parent or a child? I think being a child is more fun because you can do anything you like. At the end of the day, it's the parents will bear responsibility for you. So right now, as a parent, I can find that that's a good thing because you don't have to worry about anything and get away with anything. So, and of course, being a child, you always have what you call unlimited financial finance behind you. So you can do anything you like. Basically, it's the same thing. You do anything you like, and you will be able to get away with almost anything. And being a child, you'll be forgiven for whatever deed that you have done. And of course, you can take a stone and throw it at the window at somebody's house and say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that." Okay.
Thank you everybody for participating. We're going to turn it back to MC John.